Hi there, welcome to Nonsense Whisky. My name's Vin PF, and on today's episode we're going to be hitting some more travel retail. It's been a while since I've done some travel retail, but in fact, actually I've been sitting on this bottle for quite some time for literally no reason. I was going to say something about you just get to it, but whatever. It's just been sat down there. I keep covering other things instead of it. You can see I've been enjoying it occasionally, but now seems like a good time to cover it when no one's doing any travelling. It is what it is, right? It is what it is. Today we've got a Balvenie triple cask 16 years. Now it's a, right off the bat, let's go for some negatives. It's a 40%er, not really sure why. It's also added colour. I imagine there's not much added colour in this, but it's going to be to create parity across the range, which is, why they do it. It seems a shame to me, but it is what it is. Thankfully, because it's a travel retail, it says it on the box, and I like that. I don't tend to worry too much about added colour, but I do wish that it was a legal requirement to place it on the box when it has been added. The 40%er, however, is a completely different story. It seems like a massive shame to me, but let's get into it and see exactly what we're getting for our money, shall we? Top of the show, I'll say as well that I was given this for a birthday present, actually, from my brother-in-law and his partner, so thank you very much for that. I was led to believe that this is probably around £75 when it was first released. I have no idea what it is now, probably a little bit more than that. So we'll talk about whether it's worth the original price and the new price as well a little bit later on. First thing to really consider then with this is the title of it. It's called Triple Cask. What does that actually mean? It's 3 cask types, not 3 actual casks. It's a mass-produced whiskey. We're talking about an ex-Oloroso cask, we're talking about first fill ex-bourbon casks, and we're talking about refill ex-bourbon casks. Now, they don't go too much into the proportions of those. I imagine it's got a decent wedge of each. I doubt it's a third, let's be honest about it, but we're not sure about that for sure. Now, each of those individual cask types has been aged for a minimum of 16 years to meet these standards, and then they've been married together in a tun afterwards to kind of let those flavours do their thing. Then we get the bottling, watered down to a disappointing 40%. Again, I'm going on about that a little bit too much, but really what we need to do is get into the glass and see what's actually in there and see if it's really worth it. On the nose then. Now this one actually has a pretty substantial nose. It's a good nose, I like it. The words they use on the box are things like complex, which I wouldn't really want to award it. But there are some wonderful vanilla flavours, some wonderful honey flavours, and some floral notes on the back end, some kind of heathery notes as well, which is really quite pleasant. I'd get lost in it for hours, not trying to pick out all the nuances. I'm sure there are people out there that would pick out some really crazy tasting notes of this, but you know me, that's not really what I do on the channel. But yeah, it's just a really nice nose. Onto the palate then. Now, as you might expect from 40% to whiskey, it's relatively thin on the initial palate, but once that's disappeared, you get this really nice, warming, peppery spice, followed by more of the stuff you got on the nose, the kind of honeys, the vanillas, that sort of thing. I wouldn't say it's overly complex, but it is a tasty dram. Let's have another little taste. Yeah, it's one of those ones where I would be more than happy to kind of stick this in my nicer cabinet and share with friends who are interested in such things. I wouldn't go out of way saying this is one to kind of keep and store. It's certainly not one that you want to stick at the back of your cabinet and ignore for a long time as a kind of a special dram. It's one that you want to pop and enjoy. That brings me on to the kind of price point. I'm glad that I was bought it for my birthday, definitely, because I'm going to enjoy this dram without a doubt. I 100% would not have spent my own money on it though, because it's just a little bit too expensive for my tastes. Especially the price increase now. I was having a look around online before I did this review, and we're looking at £100 for this. You can still get a sample of this on Master of Malt, a 3 centilitre sample for just shy of a tenner. So that might be worth it if you're interested in trying stuff like this, but as an overall package, tasty dram, yes. 40%, no. Not a big fan of that. It could be if it was 43 or 46, it might be a recommendation from me. But if it's a funny thing to say because it is a good dram, and yet I'm still not recommending it. It's just the price point that's holding it back, with the 40%. If you've got money burning a hole in your pocket and you're a massive Balvenie fan and it's the last Balvenie you haven't bought, then sure, fill your boots. But for my money, there are better things on the travel retail shelves.